Okay, let's start. So this is our day one for numerical ability, and we have a section called general aptitude. It is in 15 marks. So in general aptitude we have two parts. One is called verbal ability and one is called numerical ability. So this session is for numerical ability. Actually, in the video course in different batches, we are now total 114 students. But you can see right now in live class only 22 students are coming. But even 22 is very good number in live class. They all cannot come because they all are enjoying the video course. Okay, fine. Let's start the class. So guys, we will start with the numbers. So in the numbers, we have the first number that is known as natural number. So like a 6th class student, you take down what is natural number. So all numbers, all positive integers, okay? All positive but integers. They all are natural numbers. Example, 1, 2, 3, like continuous number. They all are natural numbers. Now confusion. 0 is not natural number, right? Now pi is not natural number. Any kind of constant, they are not natural number. Okay, what is the lowest, that minimum, least natural number? 1 is lowest, or you can say least natural number. Now when you target natural number, then under a natural number itself you have types of natural number. So we have two types of natural numbers. Changing the page. Two types of natural numbers. Actually, see, why to understand with this much basic? Because what if in the aptitude they will use the word natural number? Then even though we are everything masters, but if we don't know basic of natural number, then we cannot solve that particular aptitude numerical. That's why I'm going into detail. So we have two types of natural number. One is, can anyone tell me the name? Anyone? Good try. Anyone else? Anyone else? Very good try. Okay, no problem guys. So it is a good class because I am able to take this. So it's better you guys will learn. Very good. So otherwise if everyone will reply, yes sir, prime number and composite number. Okay, then I will say, man, everyone knows this answer. So your first is, please mute everyone, prime number and composite number. So we have two types of natural numbers. What is prime number? Everyone knows what is prime number. That is not a big deal knowing prime number. In GATE exam, they will give you a particular number and they will tell you, check this is prime number or not. Actually, this much easy question they will not give in GATE exam. But if they will come to this easy question, then there will be many students, they will lose this question. And there they will decide the toppers. Okay. So we have to take few things in detail about prime number. So I am taking prime number separately. Prime number. Don't go on my handwriting because at the same time I am speaking also. So try to continue with both because my handwriting is not very good. And especially when mathematics. Prime number. See, a number larger than unity means 1, is a prime number if it does not have other divisors, plural divisors, except itself and unity. Suppose there is a number called 7. This number you cannot divide. It is more than 1, correct? So first condition, number larger than unity. It is more than 1. Next condition, it should not have any other divisor. Okay, so what is called divisor? In numerator, whatever we write, that guy is going to divide this number. So this guy which is in numerator, that is we call as divisor. Okay, easy. It is easy. Now see, I can ask here, because prime number is going on, I can ask 1 is prime number or not. So if you are saying yes, 1 is prime number. If you are saying no, 1 is not prime number. Tick on the screen. 1 is prime number or not? Balaji, which option you are ticking? Yes or no? You are drawing exactly in between. Bala, I am asking which option you are ticking. Yes or no, because you are drawing in between. No, I am not asking for prime or composite. Okay, I got your answer. Very good. So you will say it is no. No, you should tick no. Actually, you have ticked here, no? That's why I got confused. Fine. So you just mention one line here. 1 is not prime number. Okay, I'm changing the page. Now you see, how will you check a number given is prime or not? So steps to check prime number. Okay, so first thing, take square root, not cube root, square root. Take square root of the number. Okay, we will be having gate calculator, so we can easily find out square root. You don't worry, in 6th class, 7th class, we used to find out square root by several methods, right? So here no problem, any number is given, we will just simply take square root. And now here itself you will solve a numerical. I will give an example and you can cross check whether it is a prime number or not. Follow the steps. First, your job is take the square root of the number. Then your second job is round off the square root to the next highest integer and call that as z. Now third step, check for divisibility of the number n by all prime numbers below z. If there is no number below z which is not is which divides n, then the number is prime. You can do one thing, you just take the example of 241 and let's check this number is prime or not. So first of all, use your calculator and tell me what is the square root of 241. Tell me the square root of 241. Okay, so square of 241 is coming as 15.524. So 15.524, this number is lying between which two numbers? It is more than 15, but it is less than 16. So take square root of the number, round off the square root to the next highest integer. So what is the next highest integer? 16. Next highest integer is 16. It means what? In the second step over. In third step, check for divisibility of the number, whatever I have got here 16, that is your n. Check for divisibility of the number what we have got by all the prime numbers below z. Okay. So see here, below 16, how many prime numbers are possible? We can recall those prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. These 6 numbers are below 16. I will change the page. 2 is a prime number actually. And 3 and 5 and 7 and 11 and 13. These are the prime numbers. Now we have got 16 here. So check out. Prime numbers less than 16 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Now your 241. You have to check this 241 is divided by any of these numbers or not. So again use your calculator, and in which number you have doubt, try that number first, whether it is divisible properly or not. Any number, of course with 5 it is not divisible, of course with 11 it is not divisible, of course with 2 it is not divisible. So we have confusion remaining only with 3, 7 and 13. Quickly you can use your calculator and you can check if you are dividing 241 whether you are getting an integer. No, you will not get an integer. Yes, so because of that our 241 is your prime number. Now we'll go for composite numbers. So actually it is not divisible by any number. Then you have another heading as composite numbers. Very simple. Non-prime numbers. The numbers which are not prime are known as composite numbers. The numbers which are not prime are known as composite numbers. You write the full form. कंपोजिट नंबर, इसको हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? अच्छा, हमको याद नहीं है, बहुत दिन हो गया ना. हालांकि हम 12th तक हिंदी में पढ़े हैं, लेकिन हमको याद नहीं है. और प्राइम नंबर को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? अच्छा हाँ, भाज्य भाज्य संख्या. करेक्ट करेक्ट. जो विभाजित हो सके, जो विभाजित ना हो सके. करेक्ट. हाँ, अभी हिंदी याद आई हमको. Okay, now here we have to take note. One is neither prime nor composite. Okay. So there is something called coprime. What is coprime? Two numbers A and B, any two numbers, are said to be co-primes if their HCF, that is highest common factor, is 1. Now maybe many of you have forgot how to find out HCF, because these things LCM, HCF we used to do in very childhood. So okay, truly you tell me guys, how many of you have forgot how to find HCF and how many still in memory? Truly tell me, how many of you have forgot how to find HCF? At least 4-5 students. Yes. See man, if your cousins, they are studying in 8th class, 9th class, if they will see this video na, then they will say, what Anna, what bhaiya, you have forgot this HCF. They will teach you. So do one thing, go to your home and some youngers will be there, right? Ask them how to find HCF. Okay. Some co-prime you can see here. Just an example like 2, 3. Their HCF is 1. 4, 5. HCF is 1. Like highest common number between them is 1. That is the meaning of highest common. What is the highest common number between 2 and 3? For example, if I'll give you 6 and 8. So in 6 also you have 2, in 8 also you have 2. In 6 you have 2 into 3, in 8 you have 2 into 4. But, and of course into 1 also, So what is the highest number which is common in both? That is 2. This is how we calculate our HCF. Okay. I hope it's clear. Like if you have forgot this, what is the sense of HCF? This is the meaning of HCF. Okay. Yes. Now you see one very important trick that is very important to know, like how to check the divisibility. Even though calculators are allowed, but sometimes the situation will be like we have calculator but it will take time, so it's better to know the rules for the divisibility. I will change the page. Rules for divisibility. But actually see, this rules for divisibility has no sense because we have calculator available, so we can skip this part. Rules for availability, like for divisibility. But I want you to give so that you can recall your childhood and few things you can recall. It is just 10 minutes game, no problem. Just take down. So a number, it is heading is test for divisibility. A number is divided by first 2. You can divide any number by 2. What is the condition? Condition is unit digit is even or 0. The number is divided by 3 when... Do you remember the trick for the 3? Anyone? Tell me. Very good. When the sum of its digit is divisible by 3. Like here you can have one small example. See what we are dealing now from aerospace where we have come down. Suppose if I am giving 246, whether it is divisible by 3 or not, you have two choices. Quickly put into calculator and divide and check, or you add here and divide and check. So 6 4 10 2 12, 12 by 3 4. So because the sum is divisible, so 2 plus 4 plus 6 will come 12. So 4 will come. So it is divisible, so it means the total answer is also divisible. Now fourth, I mean the third. By 4 how will you check? Actually when the number formed by last two right hand side digits. Take down. When number formed by last two right hand digits is divisible by 4, or if last two digits are 0, it's like 0 0, then the number will be divisible by 4. like you will just see that and you can say okay, it is divisible by 4 or not. The last two numbers you see, if that is divisible by 4, then total number is divisible by 4. And everyone knows for 5, if you are trying to divide any number by 5, then the last digit should be 5 or it should be 0. We know this. And change the page. And if any number you are trying to divide by 6, then what is the possibility? Only two possibilities are there. Either that number should be divided by 2, or that number and not or, and that number should be divided by 3 also. Then only it is divisible by 8. That's all. No need to go for 9, 10, 11, 12, something, because we have all the tricks involved. Now we go for HCF and LCM. Otherwise it will be very boring. Now I'm going for HCF and LCM. Now how we calculate HCF, LCM? See, suppose I'm having any number, just example I will explain, that will be sufficient. Suppose I have any number 136 144 168 and I want to calculate HCF. Then you break this number in smallest possible parts. So 136, if you will break into smallest possible parts, so it is like 2 into 2 into 2 into 17. Now this 17 you cannot break. So they is like this they are known as factors. So we are breaking 136 into its all possible factors. And then we have 144. 144 is nothing but square of 12. So we can go like this: 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. So here we have 4 times 2 and 2 times 3. And then you go for 168. We have 2 into 2 into 2. Then we have into 3 into 3 into 7. Then here again we have 3 times. Now I am looking for the HCF. So the word HCF, if you read properly, then you have sense in this. Highest common factors. So how many factors are common? You see 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here. It means this guy is common in all. So this became 2 into 2 into 2 became your HCF. So 2 power 3 is equal to 8. For many students, this topic will be nothing. For many students, you will learn something. Now, we also used to find out HCF by division method. So, no need to go into this. This factor method is enough. Now, least common multiple. Least common multiple is very different. In same example, if you want to calculate least common multiple in the same example, then you know what will you do? First you will select what are the HCF you have calculated. In that, the remaining numbers also you multiply. So I have calculated HCF as 222. In that, the remaining number is 17 here, 1 time. 7 here, 1 time. 3 here, 2 times. That's all. That's all enough. You don't have to take everything. But we have to go for maximum common. So this is also, you can see here, this extra 2 is remaining. That also you have to take. Okay. It's easy to think in terms of powers. So I am just converting these numbers in terms of powers. I am going for LCM now. So for 136, we can go for 2 power 3 into 17. For 144, we can go for 2 power 4 into 3 power 2. For 168, we can go for 2 power 3 into 3 into 7. Okay. Then you go for maximum common is your 2 power 4. 2 power 4 is your maximum common. Then from these two, what is maximum common? 3 square. Then whatever is remaining, you write down. So in these two, I got the maximum common, and then 17 and 7. When you multiply this, you'll be getting 17136. Now we have very good formula which comes from HCF and LCM. Based on that, where to apply, I will let you know. See, after teaching this, I will give you a PDF. In that PDF, you will be having questions for practice purpose. So you will practice those questions. So that PDF I will upload on the drive. See, one thing I am telling you. See, as a teacher or as an institute, I should not say this. I am trying to say that you should not focus on English. You should only focus on engineering mathematics and your core subject. Whatever I am teaching here, it is my duty to cover the 100% syllabus. That's why I am teaching here. But you should not focus on your numerical ability and on your English. Because these people, syllabus is very high, very lengthy syllabus. I will finish, no problem in that. But you, until and unless you will not put yourself into great practice, you will not be, whatever English you know, only that much English will help you. Whatever English you will learn in these 3 months, that English will not help you. I am damn sure. And these basics, roughly you just do in live class for the numerical ability. Okay, I hope you are getting what I'm saying. If you are putting your effort for the English like half an hour every day or 1 hour every day, because you don't know, because it is not mathematics. English is not like math. English means you have to remember a lot of things. Okay, so it's better like 4 to 5 marks English will come. 4 to 5 marks. So if you will not practice 4 to 5 marks English, but still there is chance that 2 to 3 marks you can easily correct. Easily you can correct 2 to 3 marks. And one more thing, if you are putting the effort to understand English, then 1 or 2 days or 1 week if you will put, nothing will change. But if more than that you will put in English, it means what? Then you are going to compromise with your core subject. In core subject, if you are doing very good, practicing every day, then definitely you will be improving. But in English, there is less chance to practice. So for whom English is good, who is preparing for SSC exam, bank exam and related exams, and every day 4 to 5 hours they are sitting with the English. They are reading English newspapers and lot of effort they are putting in English. For them, you can see the growth in English. Okay, I hope my point you are getting. My point is, as an institute, my work is to finish 100% syllabus. That's why I am teaching all these things. But as a smart catcher, you have to leave English properly. Okay. But it's not like okay, that's all. So just after this I will start English. So we will start with articles, a, and, the, use, all those things, right? Change the page. Take the formula. In this formula you have product of two numbers is equal to, it is nothing but if you have HCF of those two numbers and LCM of those two numbers. Suppose I am giving two numbers 136 and 144, and we know that we have to find out suppose we have to find out LCM. So how can you calculate LCM? So the best part is product of two numbers. It means 136 into 144 is nothing but HCF into LCM of these two numbers. So HCF we can find out easily because HCF is nothing but the common part. So 136 and 144, you can check. 136 is nothing but 2 power 3 into 17 and 144 is nothing but 2 power 4 into 3 power 2. So in these two, 2 power 3 is common. So you got this is 2 power 3, and then you can easily calculate LCM. So your LCM is 136 into 144 divided by 2 power 3. If you know how to find out HCF LCM, then only you can use your gate calculator. If you don't know the process, then there is no use of gate calculator, right? So then you can calculate this and you'll be getting answer. And that answer will come as 2448. Now we go for progression. We have few progressions you might have heard in our basic classes. We have arithmetic progression, we have geometrical progression. So okay, I will stop class now for this unit, and because we have to start English. So enough for today.